layout time, F3. Okay. So there's a lot of similarities in the way that the outside menu. So you see, top left corner is the project manager, and if you go to F4 and you're in that default view, there was the project manager to the left, right? So it's there, and scene manager is also there. So there's a hierarchy to our menu system here. Starts off with project manager. So you'll see at the top it says in bold, commissioning. That's the current project that's loaded into Xpression. You can have more than one project loaded into the Xpression at a time. You'll only be able to see the scenes of the active project, that's the one that's in bold, but your sequencer is going to have all the take items for both projects, or however many projects you get loaded in. The problem is, when I said that your take IDs are unique, they can't be duplicates. So if you have your second project that gets loaded in, has a page 500, maybe you've got custom controls that say, hey, play page 500. You load it in, it's no longer at 500. You're going to play the old 500, so things may not work. So it's not a good idea to have two projects loaded in at once. ESPN is about the folks that will do it, because they have their stuff over a couple projects. They've broken their projects up into smaller chunks. When I say smaller chunks, that's sarcasm. It takes like 2 weeks that is sarcasm, 2 weeks for the ESPN project to load in. I mean, it's a good couple minutes, just sits there. Hey, I'm loading it in, loading in. But I don't think you're going to do that. But the problem, the whole point is, you can have more than one project loaded in. To load in another project, you can right-click on Project Group, and you get to add an existing project. So go ahead and find, go up a folder, go into the demo projects, and go to the wire, and open that one up. So this is the part that if it's an ESPN, it's like a good 5 minutes. You think it's broken. It's like, is it working? All right, so you'll see now that we've got in our scene manager, we've got a whole bunch of stuff. Also in our project manager, we've got at least blue icons that are categories. So these are organizational folders essentially. If you go to the sequencer now, you see how we've got all of the scenes from our first project at the top, and now we've got a whole bunch of scenes down below. So you can play a few of those. Yeah. So there's your wire bud. You may find that the ticker and the information is a few years old. So you have these these are projects that you could borrow from. All right, that last graphic that you popped in the lower third. Do you see how it's got entertainment special, 3 lines, live flag, live from NAB? And the fact that the crawl is down below there, it's on a different layer. It's just they built it to where it all lays nice. So you have your takeoff line. Yeah, clears that. Now, if you go back down to that lower third, it's in a pause state, right? So if you hit take again, it continues on. Now, look at the lower third itself. You're going to see in the template data, different options there. So if you were to take, and you can see it in the preview, right? You've got this yellow, orange line. And so if you go down and take the text out of where it says live from NAB 2013. Just take all that text out. See how the graphic changed? Because there's logic there that says if this line of text is empty, then make things bigger. You take the flag text, You take that stuff out. Well, okay, wrong line. I'm not able to read that exactly. So just type anything in there. Yep, and then that bottom line there, just remove it. So it's empty. There's that flag disappears. So instead of having multiple designs, you've got it all in one. Notice the orange bar also grew based on the text you typed, and take it online. Go on down to some of the pages. There's like an open, and you can hit a find the eyeglass there. That's type in open. There you go. So that's editable. So play that out. So find the text that you would like to change. There you go. How long did that take to render out? No time, yes. That's the point here. All right. If I wanted to, so let's go back to the layout. So in the project manager, see that the wire is bold. If you right-clicked on the one that said commissioning and activate, we've now just swapped to the other project. But our sequence still has everything. We can play content from both projects. It's just you are editing in one or the other. So if you right-clicked on the wire and remove project, it's going to ask you, do you want to save it? You can say no. I mean, you can say anything you like, but as long as you click no, you're not going to save those changes. All right. So that's your project manager. The next thing down, based on what project you have active, is your scene manager. So as you scroll down in your scene manager, you're going to see thumbnails of each of the scenes that we've been messing with over the last couple of days. And as you select it, you're going to see it show up in your main viewport, which is the checkerboard in the middle. And the next level down is your object manager. That's in the bottom left there. And depending on what objects you have in that scene, that's going to change, right? So if you selected the other scene, the one above it in the scene manager, the one with the yellow text there, you'll see that the options or the items that are in the object manager change. All right, to the right of that is your object inspector, which is at the bottom of the screen. Yes, you find that you can zoom in and out. If you hold down the control key and middle mouse wheel,
oh, there it is.
you can then double click on if you go now scroll up your view, double click on the title bar there, it resets or resizes, it resets it back to fit everything in, and it resets the actual viewport to fit within that space. Because again, you can move this stuff around, you can drag it around, right? You can undock it. But your object inspector here, it's going to change depending on what object you have selected. So right now, what object do you have selected? It's going to tell you here. So what's it say? Text. It's a text object, but its name is? Position. And this is what's selected, right? Is position. The icon here, the little AB, just tells you that it's a text object. So we've got little icons that sort of help determine what you got. But these items here, these tabs, will change depending on what type of object you've got selected. So do you see you've got a directional light, a DIR light? So if you select that, notice you only have this many selections. But so we'll go over that here in a sec. So object library on the right hand side. These are your primitives, so things that we stick in, and we can change the size and shape of it to make it something else. But you've got your output monitors, so just like this sequence, what's going out each output on what layer. And then you've got these menus on the right hand side. These pop out when you hover over them. So the first one is a material manager. So these are going to be all your colors, the images, your videos, anything that you apply to an object for us to see. An object is totally see-through until it has a material applied to it. So think of materials as clothes or paint jobs, wallpaper, whatever, wherever your head goes. So in the Material Manager, you're able to create folders, organize your materials. And if that's one thing that you learn from me, it's name your stuff. And name your stuff correctly. So no good calling it a ball when it's a square. Or first name, last name. And it's not the same.